Well, US Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has announced she is resigning from Congress. Ms. Greene posted on social media about her resignation from the US House of Representatives, saying she will leave office on the 5th of January next year. David Blevins has this report.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's sudden exit has big implications. It reduces the Republican Party's small majority in the House, triggers a special election in Georgia, which could be tricky for them, and exposes the extent of the split within the MAGA movement. She was, until very recently, Donald Trump's most vocal ally, but he had taken to describing her as Marjorie Traitor Greene because of her stance on the release of the Epstein files. In her resignation statement, she said rich and powerful people shouldn't be protected, criticised Trump's foreign policy, and talked about the impact of politics on her family and on her constituents.
I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious.
The darling of MAGA is out, and the mayor-elect of New York is in, despite Donald Trump and Zoran Mamdani coming from opposite ends of the political spectrum. Trump is a Republican populist, Mamdani a Democratic socialist. But their first face-to-face meeting was surprisingly cordial.
And as mentioned there, President Donald Trump held a surprisingly chummy press call with the new Mayor of New York, Zoran Mamdani. Sky News Washington correspondent Annalise Nielsen filed this report.
It's often said politics makes strange bedfellows, and today's meeting between President Donald Trump and the mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani is an excellent example of just that. These two politicians have previously hurled insults at each other. Donald Trump's called Mamdani a communist, Mamdani's called Trump a fascist, but today the two were very friendly. The reporting was that it was Mamdani who requested this meeting with Donald Trump at the White House, but the president was all too happy to oblige. There was a lot to discuss. Ostensibly, they talked about cost of living pressures. Mamdani's made a lot of very expensive promises to the people of New York, and it saw record turnout in the city, and some boroughs that were turning towards Donald Trump at the last election go back to Mamdani. But this time around, it seems like there must have been more on the agenda between the two, because they certainly had a lot of nice things to say about each other.
Just days ago, you referred to President Trump as a despot who betrayed the country. You said you would be his worst nightmare and accused him of having a fascist agenda. Are you planning to retract any of these remarks in order to improve your relationship?
I think both President Trump and I, we are very clear about our positions and our views, and what I really appreciate about the president is that the meeting that we had focused not on places of disagreement, which there are many, and also focused on the shared purpose that we have in serving New Yorkers. And frankly, that is something that could transform the lives of the 8.5 million people who are currently struggling under a cost of living crisis, with 1 in 4 living in poverty.
And I've been called much worse than a despot, so it's not that insulting.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay, you can just say yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Politics in Washington, D.C. is known to be very transactional, and Donald Trump prides himself on being the deal maker. So it seems like there was some advantage, in his opinion, to making nice with Mamdani, but it doesn't mean it will necessarily last. We know Donald Trump has a tendency to turn if he thinks someone's taking advantage or not playing ball. So this is a friendly start, but who knows how it will end. At the same time, the House of Representatives, controlled by Republicans, passed a motion condemning the horrors of socialism, just as Mamdani, the self-declared socialist Democrat, landed in Washington, D.C. Annalise Nielsen, Sky News, Washington, D.C.